Well, hello, friends, and welcome to We're All Fine. Before we get started today, and we have some great stuff to talk about, we just want to remind you, if you have not yet, go ahead and check out our very special Spooky Saturday episode on creepy dolls that we released. We should have another one coming out here soon. So we just wanted to, start today with a quick little reminder that we're everywhere. And we've got some polls out there. We want to, not those kind of polls.
But we could if
We could.
people wanted to donate to the cause.
There you go. If we want some discussions, so, go out there. We're happy to share our opinion. We want you to share yours.
We're not afraid to give our unsolicited opinions. That's what we've built this entire thing off of. So it's nice to know when we have community. Let's build a village. Build a village of people who are heavily opinionated.
Woo! And with that, as always, I'm Holly. And with me is my beautiful co-host, Carley.
Hey guys, stop it.
See, I wanted to start it out this way because today is about making the moves. Having game, having the Rizz, as the youths would say.
Whoa, which I just realized is short for charisma.
My daughter told me that.
Yeah, I didn't know that. But honestly, that is like a middle school level word, I feel like, at least 5th grade. I'm happy. I'm happy for the way that we are using, because my generation was like, oh, that's sick. Oh, it's cool. We didn't even have rad or dope, So I like the fact that charisma is a thing. I'm proud of you guys. I'm proud of the youths. I'm proud of you guys.
Solid Rizz.
Yeah, as much Rizz as I would have having a conversation with a stranger. So
Oh my God, it sounds like your house is being destroyed right now.
I'm really mad. Give me 2 seconds.
Hello.
Hi, can you get the kids out of the hallway, please?
Yep.
That would be super, because they're banging on my door.
Okay.
Okay, love you, bye.
Love you.
He's in the same fucking room as they are.
That may or may not make its way into the recording. I'm just letting you know. It's really going to depend on how I'm feeling.
Having game, spitting game, having charisma, having Rizz, being suave, all of those things will never, ever, ever be written in my biography, on my tombstone, in my obituary. My friends won't say, gosh, man, she had the Rizz. I'm not good at spitting game. I never have been.
Well, but I will say that I've seen a lot of women, particularly I've seen men do this too, where they're like, I have no game. I got nothing. But they do. They just don't. It's without trying. You're just so fucking adorable that you just being you. Everyone's like, ah, she's great. Look at her.
Stop it. I love that idea. I will say that every person I've ever wanted to sleep with, I have been able to accomplish that.
Oh, I would say that's definitely some game.
Did you hear that, everyone? I have game. I have found it, and I claim it as mine.
And that's the thing, guys, is that today is about claiming that confidence, that game that you probably don't think you have, but you probably have. And recognizing that, if you've really tried to spit that game, God, I sound so cool right now.
I mean,
if you've tried, right, and you have fallen on your face in a spectacular fashion, understand that might also be incredibly endearing to someone.
That is true. That is true.
So this is like a win-win today.
I like that. Okay. Yeah, it's a win-win. And I don't feel like I'm out of my element, because now already within, 3 minutes, I now know I have the games. So that's good. But my level of game before this moment that I recognized was so low. I have never asked anyone out on a date. I've said this before on the podcast. I've never asked someone for their phone number. I've never just gone up to someone that I thought was super hot and talked to them about nothing, because that's scary. And I don't. It's probably like half self-esteem, quarter of like social anxiety and then another quarter of like fear of rejection. I'm pretty sure is how I would dice up that mess of a pie. But I've also had people come up to me because I was like, what is worse than not having game? And it's not being able to realize when someone else does have it, which I've
Mm.
also had.
Mhm.
I can't tell you how many times a friend has come up to me after an interaction and been like, "Oh my god, like, you guys were cute. Like, what was that about?" And I was like, "Oh, well, they seemed like they needed help with something or I don't know." And then somehow it's always me, like, telling them where the bathroom is in the location that we are.
That's so beautiful.
Or like, "Hey, can I" I've always wondered what my response would be because I've also never had a stranger come up to me and be like, "Hey, can I buy you a drink?" Like, I don't know what my response would be. My brain feels like my mouth would turn on me, and the first thing that would come out of their mouth is like, "No, thank you, I have money." Like, I'm not poor. Do I look poor? Do I? Like,
Oh.
I just I panic. I flounder, I fluster. But yeah, so I don't even recognize when other people have game around me. And so I feel like that is the worst. So it could be worse is what I'm doing today. And it was a very smooth setup. Do you guys see what I mean? This is
That
not
was
a
nicely done. That
yeah,
was
thank
good.
you.
That was
I'm
real good.
so slick. That's how I get the ladies. I found this person. Their name is deleted. So they're very, very anonymous. I found this on Reddit. And this was the time that they asked someone out, and it did not go half as well as they thought it should. So this person says, I was new to sushi when I saw the sushi section in the supermarket. Even though I was skeptical about supermarket sushi, I went over there to check it out. A woman came up to me and asked if their sushi was good, and I said I didn't know because I was new to sushi. She said that there was a place right down the street that was really good. She asked if I had ever been there, and I said no because I'm new to sushi.
Oh
She
my
continued
god.
telling me how good it was, how she liked to go, etc. We talked for a minute or two about the restaurant, and she even said something along the lines of, but I don't know a lot of people who eat sushi, so no one will go with me. Eventually, I said, well, thanks for the information. Maybe I'll check it out later, and I walked away. Later that day, I realized what she was getting at. She was cute too. A missed opportunity for sure.
Oh my god. You know what? I feel like I'm gonna make that my new phrase for when I'm uncomfortable. Like, no matter where I'm at, I'm just gonna go, "I'm new to sushi."
Oh my
Like, no
god, I
matter
love that.
like, no matter what's going on, if I'm feeling uncomfortable, if I'm, in a booster meeting and the parents are looking at me and I don't have an answer for their question, I'm just gonna be like, "I I'm new to sushi."
New sushi. And when I don't like have an answer for something, Carly, why did you do that? I'm new to sushi. I think
Yep.
this is another merch idea. I like it.
Yeah, I think that this is solid. But really, in this situation, be direct. Be
That's
direct.
true.
You can't just expect the other person to guess what you're doing.
Right. See, and that's how I wish it was. I wish dating was the way that it was back in preschool. I mean, I'm married now, so it doesn't really like matter unless I decide to like get my husband a girlfriend for like Christmas if we ever but like we're not there yet. We're not ready. We're not there. And people aren't gifts. But anyways, I wish it was the way it was in kindergarten. Like you saw someone that looked cool and you went up to them and you were like, "I like your dinosaur shirt. You want to be best friends?" And they said yes, and then you were best friends, or they said no, and you were just like, "Cool, whatever. I'm gonna go fuck off on the monkey bars." And then your life like went on. But there was never this like weird like, "Oh, gosh, I really like your dinosaur shirt. It would look really cool while we played crayons." Like, like it would just be so nice. For a long time, I hated the fact that you had to DTR. You and I had this
Oh, yeah.
conversation once. I was
Mhm.
seeing someone and we were active and all of these things, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know what we are. I don't know what to do it. I don't know. And you were like, well, DTR. And I was like, what? Is that like a Jersey Shore reference that I don't know? And you were like, no, define the relationship. And I was like, whoa, God, that sounds terrible, but also would have been really nice if somebody was just like, hey, I like you. You wanna be together? Exclusive? Great, done. Like, but that's not how shit works anymore.
Well, no, I think that it can. I think that if people would just be okay with bluntness,
Mhm.
and it's taken me a lot of so much time and watching other people and teaching high school for 100 years, watching other people play the, like, "I don't know, we're just talking" game, which is a whole new thing. I remember in high school, for me, like, when I liked this guy, his name was Jason. I was so into him. I was a sophomore, I think, and he was a senior,
Hmm?
and we happened to be in the same math class. I was in an honors class.
Yeah, you were. You bad
Thanks.
bitch.
Thanks.
Mm.
So, it's, like, close to the beginning of the year, and he's sitting across the classroom from me, but I'm, like, staring at him all the time. And he's just so cute, and this is the only class I have with him. I've never spoken to him before. I've seen him with his friends, and I have heard him tell jokes, like, across the room. He's very funny. He's never spoken to me. He has no idea that I even exist across the classroom. But sitting behind me is this senior girl who has the biggest mouth in the universe, and I know this about her. She talks about everyone to me. She will talk about me to anyone, and I go, this could be great. So I turned back to her and I go, "Hey, what do you know about Jason?" She's like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "I don't know. I just think he's pretty cute. Kind of like him. What do you know about him?"
Smart.
And so she tells me stuff. Oh my gosh, you like him? I didn't say that. I just, I think he's pretty cute. And then I just turn back around and keep doing my stuff, knowing that it's now going to get to him. And I was assured that it had when the very next day, we're talking 24 hours later, he's across the classroom staring at me.
Mm.
And I thought, oh, okay, well, now he knows that I exist. So that's great. And of course, I turned back to the girl behind me and I'm like, "Did you say anything?" "Oh, God, no, of course not. I would never." She was like the original Gretchen Wieners. I was like, okay. So he's looking at me and I'm thinking, okay, this is cool. This is cool. So then after class, he kind of walks over to me and I said, "Well, we have an improv team that's kind of getting started. Maybe you should come by after school, check it out." And he's like, "Yeah, okay." So he did. And we ended up co-captaining the team, and I dated him, and it was great.
That's
Thank you. Thank you.
like, wait.
Wouldn't I have saved so much time if I had just gone up to him and been like, "Hey, you're cute. I like you. Let's hang."
I mean, I guess so, but like, I would be too taken shit to tell. I'd be like, oh, I hope the senior girl behind me doesn't see me staring at him. I'll divert my eyes for a couple of times during the day. I don't know. It's something I'm trying to work on. I'm not good at being vulnerable. I'm not good at my biggest fear. I realized this recently. One of my biggest social fears is that I will like someone more than they like me. And we've talked about this before, and I'm working through that. And I'm realizing that like my like for someone through the help of this really smart lady named Holly, because she had really good advice. She was like, how much you like someone doesn't play a role in how much they like you, and vice versa. And I was like, whoa, that's brilliant. Still terrifying, but a little comforting. I love that. Yeah, we're going to be polar opposites on this whole ride. So buckle up, friend. There was this one time in middle school, and I had the biggest crush on this kid. So we had construction class together. And then
Mhm.
we also had an engineering class together. And why any counselor hated me enough to put me into engineering, I'll never understand. I don't know numbers. I'm just bad at math, and I hate computers. So totally not cool. But there was this smoking hot guy named Trey. And Trey and I would talk all the time. He was kind of like a class clown. He was kind of, he was cool. He was in my grade, sweet guy. He would help me at so I was good at using tools. He was good at computers. So he would do all my models. I would build all of his stuff that we had to do. And it was very symbiotic. So I'm getting feelings. I have a crush. And one day after class, and I was looking cute that day. And one day after class, he was like, "Hey, Carley, I've got something to ask you after class. Would you meet me by the bikes?" And I was like, "Oh my God, it's happening. It's happening." Like, he likes me, and it's probably because I like power tools and I'm all Twitter pated. This is like 5 minutes into class, right? So I have 53 minutes that I have to get through with all of this anticipation. And so class is over and I don't want to look too eager. So I'm slowly packing up my binders and watching everyone else leave. And, I just stroll out to the bikes because I'm cool. cool, calm, and collected. While on the inside, I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, oh, this is so hot. And so I get over to the bikes and I'm doing like the very stereotypical, like pushing my hair back. I'm like, hey, Trey, what's up? Like, I didn't just see him 4 minutes ago. And he was like, oh, yeah, I wanted to ask you something. And he looks all nervous and I'm just, and he goes, I just wanted to ask you, is Michelle single? Because you're like her best friend.
Oh, no.
Mind you, we've had like a whole semester. This is the end of the semester. We have so much in common, and I know he has nothing in common with her, like all of these things, right? And so I honestly think, and I hate to like give that moment so much power, but it was what I had always seen in like movies and TV, right? Like you just be yourself and all of a sudden this super hot guy who's super cool is going to notice you, take off your glasses and suddenly
Sure.
you're beautiful,
Yeah.
And I didn't even have to take off my glasses. I got to use power tools and he was in love with me. And then come to find out, he just really wanted to date my best friend. So I was like, ooh, okay, well, never gonna put myself in that position again. And then didn't do that.
Oh my God, that's so sad.
I mean, it worked out. I mean, I will say in my early 20s, I didn't have a lot of free Friday nights. That makes me sound like I was very promiscuous. I was not that promiscuous, but I was always very busy. One thing I will say, a lot of my exes are douchebags, and I'm glad that I don't have to like breathe the same air as them anymore. But I will say they were all really good at realizing that I was never going to be the person who initiated. And they took that on. And they weren't afraid of being like, hey, I'm super into you.
So
Like,
you sought
do
out
it.
people that you knew were going to make the first move.
I don't even know if I sought that out or if I just got
Mhm.
like really lucky or people just got tired of like dealing with me being like, oh, what? Like even to this day, my poor husband, like he married me. We sleep in the same bed. We're madly in love. And at least 20 times a day, I'm like, hey, do you still like me? Do you love me? Because I'm brave enough to even ask him that question. That would have never happened in any past relationship. But I also had, this is going to sound boastful, but like I said earlier, I've been able to get to know, date, sleep with any person I've ever really had my eye on. I've never had the like stereotypically beautiful body type. I've never had the whitest, straightest teeth. You know what I mean? Like I've just relied on my personality a lot. And then would just be surprised when they were like, hey, I've got a thing for you. But I'd be like, oh, okay. Ugh. This is going to be temporary and very nice.
Yeah. See, when we say polar opposites, I think in this too, we are also polar opposites. So my thing is that I tend to just go into anything when I'm meeting people or in social situations and I put like the funny first. It's all about having a good time and humor, and I lead with sarcasm. Like I have this beautiful sticker on my laptop right now that says, I've never faked a sarcasm because
I love that.
thank you. It's true. Like that's where I live. And it's always really fun until I am talking to people who, there might be an interest between the two of us, but they can never figure out if I'm being serious or not. Because at a certain point, my voice just sounds sarcastic, like 90% of the time. So they're like, oh my God, you're so funny. But I can't see past that. And I'm like, awesome. Awesome. And then I find that I do that now. I've been married forever, but like, I've just really I have a great time when I'm out with people and I don't even think about it because I'm not like interested in the people around me. Like I'm not interested in dating them. So I will, we're all laughing, making inappropriate jokes. Like it's all a great time. Because I don't think anything
of it.
sexual about it. So
Yep.
I don't ever feel nervous or anything, right?
Yeah.
But get me around an abnormally attractive person and I completely shut down. To this day. Like cannot speak. I start stuttering. I will talk forever. But I get around really pretty people. I can't make eye contact. I get real quiet. And then everything that I say sounds ridiculous. So I'm suddenly like real interested in the weather this week. Or I, want to talk about I can't even think. I can't even think about the things that I've said in these moments when I have run into people, and it's always strangers. It's not people that I know. And I just am like, hey, hmm, hey, hey. I mean, I have nothing. I don't know what to say because I'm just so afraid everything's gonna fall apart. So I found when I was approaching men in my younger years
Yeah.
to be like, hey, hey, I had to be if I really wanted I was very interested in something happening. I had to be really upfront about it because otherwise they would think I was kidding.
Oh, so see, like my fear of rejection protects me from rejection in my head, but it doesn't. And then your fear of rejection means that you're more forward. So my
Right.
refusal and your forward are the same mechanism, but probably way different outcomes.
Oh, I like that you look at it that way. Yeah.
Mm,
I wish when I was younger, I had understood the power in just putting yourself out there and
mhm.
asking. So I found this really cool article from amythedatingcoach.com. It was called The Top 3 Reasons Why Women Should Ask Men Out. According to a survey from Match.com of 5,000 single men and women, 65% of the guys have been asked out by a woman,
Good
and
for you.
91% of men are cool with a woman making the first move and asking them out. 91%.
Mm.
That means that just about every dude would love to have that pressure taken off of him and asked out. I think I had in my head this, as a younger person, the stereotypical, like, the men just it's so easy for them asking a girl out, like, whatever, right? Because in my
Yeah.
head, I was overthinking everything. I was just in my head, I'm a mess constantly. So I think,
Right.
"Oh, it's gotta be so much easier for them." It's not. It's totally nerve-wracking, and I see that now having a son, a teen son, and I'm seeing this happen with him, and I'm so grateful that he talks to me about everything, which is
Mm.
awesome.
Good
But
job, mom.
thank you. But it is fascinating to watch just his absolute fear of, like, "I don't wanna mess up. I don't wanna say the wrong thing. Am I gonna say this right? What if she says no?" And I go, "Oh, okay." So it wasn't. It's not just me. Like,
Mm-mm.
everybody
It's
gets a little worried
everyone.
about it.
Yeah.
And ultimately, why waste the time? Why waste the time beating around the bush? Like, just go up, be like, "Hey, I like your style. I like you. This is fun. We should do this together,
Yeah, I
the
like your
2 of us."
dinosaur t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yes. That's how I wish it was too. And I realize that I say that, but then I'm part of the problem because I can be blunt 99% of the time. Thank goodness I'm married. But when it came to I have a crush on you, that was always really, really hard. But I am realizing in this moment that the only thing worse in my existence than asking someone out and them turning me down are the times in my life where somebody asked me out and I had to turn them down.
Ooh, yeah. No, that's not fun.
'Cause that's so bad, and it's so uncomfortable, and I would have just been more forward and been like, "Hey, we're friends. 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 I wouldn't have had to worry about that. I had one kid ask me to go to a dance with him or to be his girlfriend, I don't remember, I was too uncomfortable. At the very beginning of a bus ride from one city to another when he was a football player and I was a manager. And I thought that we were super duper just friends, and he was very sweet, and at the very beginning, we, like, sat down, and he was like, "Carly, I just wanna ask you something," and then he asked me to whatever it was, and I was like, "Oh god. Oh god. Do you think they could just leave me in Canyon City? Like, can you just let me off the bus?" Like, if I vomited right now, maybe that would help the situation. Like, I just went into utter panic shutdown, and I handled it well, and he was very gracious about it, but I could see, like, that he was sad, and that made me feel bad, but not enough to be like, "Yeah, we should do this." And if I would've just been more forward, that wouldn't have happened, and I could have saved both of us. I mean, I'm such a fucking delight that it's not fair to all of these people
Thank
because
you. Yeah.
Clearly, they just want to be with me. I can't even. It's
The way that you
hard.
feel saying no, I think you have to understand that they feel that way too. Men, women, whoever it is that you're asking out, they don't
Mhm.
like turn you down either. So even if they say no, I mean, most of the time, we're going to say 75% of the time, it's going to be not mean. They just maybe aren't interested in the same way. And sure, that sucks, but they're not going to be like, ew, gross. What? Like,
You
that's,
grotesque sea monster, get out of here. Yeah, that's true.
and that's the other thing is that if you are making that move to go first, to ask them out, the likelihood of you finding a better match for yourself is much higher because you're not having to wait for that
Mm.
thing to happen and hoping that the person that asks you out is the one that you feel good about.
Mm.
Instead, you're seeing what you want and you go, "Oh gosh, that looks like a good match for me. I'm going to go for it." And then
I
just
love
doing
that.
it.
Ugh, I love that. That is so brave. I've never been happier that I was married until this moment because I'm like, "Oh my god, yeah, absolutely. That is so great," and I will apply that to my life. "Oh no, I'm married. I can't put myself out there. Bummer. Oh,
Yeah,
shucks."
but you know what? You can do the same thing with, like, picking friends. Yeah, I mean, we talked about this a little bit and, like,
It's true.
making friends as an adult, but truly, I've done it, I think, probably more often than is normal of me just being like, "I like you. Let's be friends." Literally just like that. And
You're the
w
solution.
weirdly, people really like it.
They respond to it because they actually
Mhm.
want that. None of us like pussyfooting around, and I don't know if that's an inappropriate term anymore, I don't know. So if it is offensive, I'm very sorry, and I don't know. But, like,
Oh,
every little idiom nowadays is really bad, but I don't like it, like, don't just be direct with
mhm,
me,
yeah.
and I'd be better for it, and I feel like everybody would be better for it.
And
So,
really, who's gonna say, "No, I don't wanna be your friend?" Maybe they'll say, "Oh, that's awesome." Okay, and that's kind of a letdown, right? That's them being like, "Okay, well, alright." And maybe they've reached their friend quota. Like, that's it, they're done.
yeah, they've
Yeah,
got what they needed.
but
Yep.
then other people will go, "Oh my god, yeah, let's be friends, that would be awesome." I'm like, "Yes." And then we compliment each other's dinosaur shirt and go play crayons.
I like that. All right. Well, fine. Damn it. I haven't filled my friend quota. I'm in a rebuilding phase with friendships.
Our goal today was to help you understand the benefit of putting yourself out there and doing the asking, and whether it's for a date or whether it's for friendship. And I hope you heard Carly is in the market for some friends. So,
Mhm. Please
you
have
know,
your resumes with a cover sheet, background checks, fingerprints.
but just reach out and be like, hey, I've got an awesome dinosaur shirt. I want to be your friend.
I mean, I probably will want to be your friend if you have a dinosaur shirt. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Hit me up if you want to be my friend. That'd be fun. Tell me on social media.
Or you can hit us up at We're All Fine Podcast at Gmail. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and all of the places. And then check us out with this upcoming weekend for another spooky Saturday episode. We've got a really good one coming up. I'm very excited about it.
Ooh.
And before we sign off, we just want to remind you guys, no matter how crazy it gets out there in the dating world, in the making friends world, no matter how awkward you feel around beautiful people, just remember, we're all fine. All right. Well, we love you guys. We hope you have a great week.
Bye.